till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here at Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You know what it's all about. We get here, we assemble, we look through our best bets. We've been marinating on this card all day. We're going to use trends, angles, line movement, cash flow adjustments, player injury analysis, and the best damn chat in the business to help us find winning tickets. That's what it's all about, is getting informed betting decisions to go out there and hammer the bookies. We're all working together to crush those books and build these bankrolls. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. Off an interesting night last night. You know, we kind of went up and down the card. I mean, look, the big one was how about them Sharks? Plus 230. You got to take the good with the bad. And certainly it was a good outcome. It was a bad finish for that Utah Hockey Club. So less than 2 minutes left. They were up like 4-1. And somehow it goes to overtime, and the Sharks pick up the W. It was huge. It was so big. Look, we lost our 67-1 parlay. I shouldn't laugh. It was a pretty dead miss across the board. But we did cash Tampa Bay Lightning. We got them at minus 135. We did cash Toronto at even money. We got them Sharks. And we lost them Flames. Now, the good thing about losing that Flames game is they were down 5-0. They were down right off the gate. They were never in that game. They were busted up and knocked out of there. And so be it. We took that L on the chin. It was still plus money and a profitable start to the day. We lost that Knicks game. But I told you my favorite spot on the card was them Rockets, and they came through with ease. Made a mess of this game. Well, not really. I guess not really. The Dodgers won, positive money. Shout out to Jay Peasy. He was talking about them Dodgers being the spot. 2-0 in the first inning, so we lost the Nerfy. Neither one of these gentlemen in Judge or Ohtani got a hit. So that was a push. And the Yankees' first five under 4.5. The whole game stayed under. Contrarian play got us to victory. And look, we just missed this push here with the Giants plus 12 and the under 44 is where I think the final number ended in the teaser. Giants are bad. That's what I get for backing them Giants on Monday Night Football. I thought there was a chance. Should have just gone first half. You know, I expected them to be down first half. The adjustments the coaches would make with the advantage that Dable presumably had against the spread, they would make them second half adjustments. Instead, they won the first half. Well, you got plus 3.5. I think it was tied, right? So they pushed the first half, but win with the spread. And then they just don't perform in the second half. No adjustments made whatsoever. And that's what I get for backing the New York Giants. Shout out to them Steelers, man. Found a way. They got cooking. Russ got cooking in that second half. And it's unfortunate that it went down that way, but we live to fight another day. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We've got a bunch of action lined up. 3 in the NHL. We're going to go Ducks and Islanders. We're going to go Blues and Senators. We're going to go Rangers and Capitals. Then we're going to go 3 in the NBA. Why not? Nuggets and Nets. Kings and Jazz. Mavs and Timberwolves. We got 2 of 3 games covered in college football. New Mexico State, FIU. La Tech, Sam Houston. And we'll bring her home. Bring her on home with the close in the World Series. Is it a closeout game? Is it a sweep? Is the Dodgers plus 115 free money? Or does Major League Baseball want to take advantage of the 2 biggest media markets in the planet and try to extend this one? Get your tinfoil hats on. It'll be fun to talk about that game. But first and foremost, thank you guys so much for coming in, rocking in with us, hanging out, and right off the gate, we got action. We got my dude, Old E's gifting 5 sports money memberships. Where's my drink here? He's helping us grow this thing. 5 members at a time. Shout out to you, Old E, my brother. Thank you very much for your belief in what we're doing here, your positivity, your plays, and your cash helping us grow, bringing new memberships out there. We appreciate you, Old E. And how can we not shout out Cameron Sinnett? Says Old E, my man. He gifted $9.99 out there. Look at these boys right off the gate. What a pleasant surprise to get in here and rifle this thing off here. What a bunch of dudes, huh? What a bunch of guys. Now I got to see who these went to. Now we've got to play the who got him game. If you got one, certainly you don't have to, but it's very helpful if you gift one. So hang on just a moment. Let me get this thing fired up. This gets me excited. Wasn't expecting to go down this route this early. Thank you guys. Thank you both, man. Old E, my guy Cameron Sinnett. You guys are rock stars, man. Let's see what we got going on here. Had to mute it. Had to get in there. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Eberk is gifted a membership. Winner Circle is gifted a membership from Old E. Fernando Mendoza's gifted a membership from Old E. Redbeard is gifted a membership from Old E. And Cameron Sinnett, there he is, gifted a membership from our guy, Old E. Ah, man, I love you guys. Thank you so much. What a way to start this show. Get us rolling in the right direction, blessing our action. And it's going to be an action-packed card. I'll tell you, we're having a hell of an October. I sadly had to go back and recreate these records, which means listening to every show back. And so I've started with October. We're crushing it in October. And it's because of you guys coming in here on the regular, sharing your best bets, talking us off of plays that maybe we thought were the spots, and just building, growing together. Makes this a lot of fun to come in on a daily basis and hook it up for the fellas. Redbeard pops off a $4 gifted membership, or $4 gifted dono. Excuse me, Redbeard. Shout out to you, Redbeard. And there's Dave Beckett popping off 5 sports money memberships. Man, shout out to Dave Beckett. Shout out to Redbeard. Let's see who got these gifted memberships. What a fun way to start the show, you boys. Thank you. Philly Eagle Flyer is gifted a membership from Dave Beckett. Trisha M is gifted a membership from Dave Beckett. Gerald Jones is gifted a membership from Dave Beckett. Sylvester's Twinkie gifted a membership from Dave Beckett. And Regan Anthony gifted a membership from Dave Beckett. Shout out to all 4 of you fellas out there. Old E, Dave Beckett, both gifting 5 sports money memberships. Cameron Sinnett with the $9.99 dono. And Redbeard with the $4 gifted membership as well, or dono as well. Thank you. Kelly V, you know the deal. You're welcome to come on and do it any way you want. But in the meantime, this is the way we're going to do it. And that's how I want to do it. I want to shout these guys out for gifting these memberships. It means a lot. It means a ton for everybody to come in here on a daily basis and rock and roll with us. My man, Ramon Scott in the morning. And of course, what we do here at Sports Money with Pregaming at 6 p.m. Look at how this fits in. Look at how this fits into what we're trying to do here. Look at this. Cameron Sinnett firing back. My gosh. Listen, boys. This is why you can never leave the brown bottle too far away. We haven't even started the show. And you guys are fucking rock stars, man. Cheers. Cheers to you guys. Cameron Sinnett, my guy, Old E. Appreciate you guys rocking and rolling with us. Redbeard, Dave Beckett. Thank you guys, man. All right. All right. Woo. Woo! That's how we're going to start this show. Who knew? Who knew that's how it was going to go down? Now I'm going to ask you guys to take a second, if you haven't done so already. Close the comments. Hit that thumbs up button and then pop back in and make some more comments. Let's see what happens out there. Let's see how many thumbs up we can get tonight on this show, man. Thank you guys so much. Alrighty. What a way to pop this show off out there. You guys know the deal. Get your pens and paper ready. And look at Trisha M. She's gifting to the sports money community with a $4.99 dono. Thank you so much, Trisha M. Rockstar. Appreciate you coming in. All right. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Get your pens and paper ready. The best in the business to assemble here. They're giving their best looks of the day. They're giving dollars out of their bankrolls, and they're bringing positive vibes to the community, blessing our action. You guys are going to want to write down what we talk about tonight. And last but not least, share your best bets in the chat. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about tonight's show. We're going to pick up with a brisk pace. Shout out to Justin McKelvey. Says sports money is money. There's my dude, Joe T. Says the play of the day is over 1.5 in the first period for that Rangers Capitals game. It's hit 5 of 6 in the head-to-head matchups out there. Shout out to NJ Striker. Talk sports with JT. King each every stride. Appreciate you guys rocking. There's Jay Peasy. Jay Peasy dropped me a little gift today. It's a gift when my man goes to the studio and fires it out. So I can't wait to get that in play. Shout out to you, Jay Peasy. There's Spenny Penny Bumps. Loves the music. Let's go, man. Appreciate you, Spenny Penny Bombs, coming in here. Gonzo, he's got his model. He's got some plays for you in the NHL. Woo. That's what happens when you get off kilter with a shot there. The Minnesota Wild, the New York Rangers in the NHL tonight. There's Andrew G. KV says, how about Columbus? Gary Franks in the house. Ricky Levine says, turned it off, woke up a winner in the Sharks game. Joe W. Razor's on a little vacation. That Talk Sports with JT likes the under in that Seattle-Montreal game. I'll tell you, original first glance for me was looking at the over in that. The more I sat on it, I don't think that's a bad move out there at all. Talk Sports with JT. Spenny says, hit a massive parlay in the NBA last night. 14,990 boosted up to 19,000. Oh, my goodness. Look at this guy. 8 rebounds. Wendell Carter, double-double. Hawkes, 4 rebounds. Scotty Barnes, double-double. And Giddey, 6 assists. Shout out to you, man. That's a big score. Way to go. Way to go. There's Talk Sports with JT. Says Andy likes the Anaheim. Again, plus 1.5. Rodney M's going to go Yankees. I got this popping off up here. Move that. It's just that slight delay. And that's gotten in my head there. KB does have best bets. 2 goals each in regulation. Minnesota Penguins. Parlay leg. Another game or player point. Rossi with that. Plus 142. 3. Malkin point with 2 goals each in regulation. How about that? Let's go. And Spenny says, Carter got the double-double with like 10 seconds left in the game. Redbeard, for you, I will take I was going to do that today, too. I was ready to take it off this morning. So I will do that for you today, Redbeard. I will do that for you today. We know that they live on the shit list. We're just going to free up some room for some new members. But I'm going to leave Aaron Rodgers on there. Kaprasov and Crosby, anytime goal scorer, same game parlay for the Irish King. Shout out to Irish King being in here. JPC says, Yankees bettors, just send me your donation. Better than giving it to the Bucks. Let's go. KV's got New Orleans minus 2.5. Give more minus 5. An alternate line for plus money. Teams again tomorrow. Same venue. Curry and Wiggins out. Leaves Buddy Hield over 3.5 threes. Spenny, couple parlays for the NBA tonight. Coming off the big score last night, says Naz Reid, 8+ rebounds. Joker triple-double. I love that Joker triple-double spot. He's got, 4 and 5 games against the Brooklyn Nets. I love that Joker triple-double spot. I triple-doubled him with Luka for like a plus 40,000, something crazy like that. Fox, 8+ assists. Trace Jackson Davis, 8+ rebounds for 12, 860. I'll leave that up there for a memento. Oh, and he's firing a 1. Schroeder, double-double. Gafford, 8+ rebounds. And a Zion, double-double. Man, I love basketball being back. Look at this one here. Another almost 51-1 action from our guy, Spenny Penny Bombs. I love you guys coming in ready to fire. KV says the mini Fleury crowd going to go wild for Fleury. Crack myself. 7th road game for Minnesota. Pens 8-2 in the series. The Penguins, after playing 3 road games and coming back home, are goddamn unstoppable force in the NHL. I will say that. I've got the number. If you want to hear the number, let me see if I just cut some of these plays off of the spreadsheet. First game home after 3 roadies are 13-4. Them Pittsburgh Penguins out there. It's going to be Marc-Andre Fleury night, but let's not forget, it was Steve Stamkos night last night down in Tampa Bay. I don't buy into too much of that hype out there, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. Because I'm on the fence with that game. I'm on the fence. I want to see goals, but I want to see Fleury. I don't know. I don't know, KB. That's a tough one for me. Spanny's got Hawkins 15-plus points. Kuminga 6-plus rebounds. And Dante DiVincenzo 15-plus points. Naz Reid 6-plus rebounds. 27-1. Man, you guys are fucking rock stars. You guys are rock stars. Here's KB. Give me a little side action there. Give me a little zip. A little zip from the lip. Says, Mikey, we can read. Jesus. Let's go. All right. Let's get to work. What do we got? We got Justin McCall. We got Brian Smith's in here. Trisha M says, I got Dodger series back pocket tonight for the Yanks. Never forget Panthers 3-0. Shout out to our guy, LJ from H-Town. He's in the house tonight. Says, what's up, Mikey? He's got Dallas +5. Everybody on the Wolves. Mavs are still the better team. I got some numbers for you in that game. LJ, concur, my friend. JPC says, there's no way the Yankees gets. I overused that yesterday. I used it. I think every other game worked except for that Giants game, unfortunately. I overused that one yesterday, JPZ. Talk Sports with JT's got Ingram under 19.5 points. Conley under 1.5 threes. And Fox under 2.5 threes. We're rocking now, man. You guys are firing. I'm excited about this now. Let's go. Nasty Nate's in the house. Says, only 37 likes. You guys hate it here. I hope not. I hope not. Appreciate Trisha M following it back up. This is fresh from the barber. I'm not actually. I'm not. I ordered a new head trimmer. The fucking thing came from Croatia or some shit. Stuck in customs. Shout out to Barry. Shout out to the $1.99 follow up from Trisha M. Appreciate you, Trisha M. Man, you guys are fucking outstanding. I love it. I love it here. I hope you guys do too. Hit that thumbs up button. Show the support. Let's talk about a couple of things. Let's talk before we get into this here. We'll move quickly. We'll always try to keep a brisk pace for you guys. But gambling has changed. Gambling, this tools and technology concept, means late betting has never been better or more great than it is in this day and age. Check out these stats vis-a-vis the NFL this season. How about this? I know I fucked up the background. Don't judge me on the background. NFL analysis. Winners in the NFL are 106-14 against the spread this year. Out of 123 NFL games that have been played, 14 of them were favorites that won but did not cover. In 106 of 123 games, the favorite covered or the dog won outright. Big takeaway, late betting is great betting. I found those numbers to be a little bit fascinating because you always hear about the CLV game. We want to beat the line. Listen, is it important to beat the line? We talked about this. The bettors that are popping in on Mondays and Tuesdays and buying action on Sundays, they're buying the other. I heard a dude the other day. He had a -7, a -7, and then a +6.5. I was like, that doesn't even fucking make sense. You're going to lose something. Doesn't make any sense. Buying this action earlier in the week, tying up bankrolls when we can put this thing in play, invest. I told you guys, we cast a wider net. We win at that 60% plus rate. We're going to make more money over the long haul than those guys that are beating the numbers. And guess what? It don't matter if you beat the number. Not long-term, maybe. But to start this NFL season off, we're at the halfway point, right? Just about the halfway point. Interesting, fascinating notes. 106 of 123 games. The favorite cover, the dog won outright. Nothing in there about CLV. Not a damn thing about CLV. How about this? Best against the spread teams in the NFL this year at the halfway point. How about the Colts? The Colts just made a big move today. They have benched Anthony Richardson. They're going to old man time Joe Flacco. To anybody's surprise, the Lions at 6-1. I'm not surprised. They've been beating the shit out of everybody. The Commanders, 6-1-1 with Jaden Daniels. The Hail Mary there the other day was a big spot for them to get out there and cover. The Broncos surprised me on this list. 6-2 with Bo Nix. Steelers. Chiefs at 5-2. I don't know if I'm surprised by that or not, but the Vikings started off hot and they have gone to not. And that's why it's important to debrief this time of the year. We get to that halfway point, just like in the NHL. We'll talk about this in a little bit. When you get to a certain point, you got to start looking at who's been overachieving and who's been underachieving. Surprisingly enough, when I looked at this list, I thought the Chiefs are underachieving. I know they're 5-2 and they've made the list, but 1 touchdown in 4 weeks for Patrick Mahomes. The Bears at 4-2-1, kind of a little surprising there. The Cardinals at 5-3, and the Bills sitting there at the bottom of the list at 5-3 as well. We see the best. Now let's see the worst. Oh, shit. I got a list of the worst. I'll just read it off to you guys here because obviously I screwed up the download in this process. But let's see here. Who do we have? The worst in the NFL. Oh, you know what? Just bear with me for 1 second. It's all about just using data to just make intelligent decisions. That's literally what we're here to do. We're trying to get her done, trying to share with you guys some of this information that, data doesn't lie, just people do. And this case here, there we go. There's the worst. That only took a second. That wasn't so bad. The Panthers at 1-7, the Dolphins at 1-6. Not surprised. Titans at 1-6. Really not surprised after the way they started. The biggest surprise to me on this list was the Jets. And that's why Aaron Rodgers is on the shit list. He's the top of the castle on the shit list. 2-6 against the spread. Always has that look like, get this fucking game over with. I know we're going to lose. Maybe underachievers in this list. The Patriots, 2-5-1. Drake May, just maybe with that schedule they've got coming up, could start to find some wins. Going to be getting some points. Why not? And there's the Browns. We know the Browns made a big move as well, right? The Browns, no more Deshaun Watson. They're going to Jameis Winston. Good old crab legs. Going to go out there and fire it up. And there's the Giants and the Saints kind of tailing it off there. But anyhow, some interesting stuff that I came across today that I thought you guys may want to see, because it's all about making informed betting decisions. That data is out there. You guys can go back and clip it. Check it out. Take a print screen of the screen if you're going to use that as you start looking at some of your bets, some of the plays you're going to get down with. Let's get down. Let's get to business. Let's go. Try not to overdo it with some data and analysis for you guys, at least macro level, but we are again at that halfway point. So it's pretty important to recognize. Again, I look at that stuff and I just try to think about that overachieving, underachieving. And I believe the same thing about the NHL. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Season just started. We need to get to that 10-game mark. That 10-game mark, then we can start to move away from last year's data and start to figure out, who's overachieving, who's underachieving. Same deal. Who's going to move in the right direction? Who's got potential to pick the ball up and run with it? And who's just going to keep running with it? And we'll talk about that with the Rangers because they've got the number 1 offense in the NHL. And I was a little surprised to that. Trisha M says, what happened? First crab legs or physical therapy after that W? Man, that dude said, why shoot for the sky? Or why is the sky's the limit when there's people on the moon? That dude's fucking nuts. Something's wrong with his head. But shout out to Truth Tellers in the house. He's ready to go with us. Okay. Let's get to this first game. We got a bunch of games to get to here. Not a ton of time to do it. So let's get moving fast. Anaheim Ducks, New York Islanders going to pop off here. Goaltender wise, we've got unconfirmed. Let me just refresh here. Unconfirmed on the Duck side. It does look like Dostal's going to be the guy. And came off a pretty spectacular performance against them Rangers that we just talked about, the aforementioned hottest team in the offense anyways in the NHL. He's got a 2.17 goals against average with a 93.6% save percentage. 93.6% save percentage. Why did I say it twice? Because Ilya Sorokin's going on the other side, and he's got a 93.6% save percentage. Sometimes you look at these numbers and you say, wait, Why? Why are the Islanders a minus 235 favorite in this position? Do they have a goaltending edge? I don't know, but they're 3-4-1 on the season. There's the Islanders sitting at 3-3-1. And, if you look at Sorokin and kind of his last time out, I got to move this around. This is not working for me. Let's move this over here. There it is. I got to close that because that's not working for me either. Okay. 1.74 goals against average is that spot for Sorokin out there. We talked about this Islanders team. We talked about them kind of playing that under-style hockey out there. And under-style might be the word of the game here. Through the start of the season, fewest goals in the NHL, surprisingly, the Anaheim Ducks. But I screwed something else up here. What is going on? Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. Too many windows to open, boys and girls. Let me give you some numbers. Let me talk to you guys about this Islanders team. Home favorites against non-Central Division opponents. 3-18 on the puck line. 3-18. They're 0-7 in their last 7 games. They're also 3-18 on the puck line when the opponent's coming off a home game and they were on the road. So changing venues for both teams. Difficult spot out there. 1-12 on the puck line when they're greater than a minus 115 on the puck line out there. And home favorites over a minus 200 off a loss are 4-11 on the puck line. Lots of puck line talk out there. But I felt like this is one of those spots where we got to take the swing. I don't know that these two teams are moving in different directions, but I do like the travel factor that came into this one here, where we've got this Islanders team now coming back home. A big opportunity for us to swing up, take a nice plus money shot at this thing here. And I double dipped it. I went 205 and the puck, the plus 1.5. I expect this to be a tighter game. Reason I popped off right off the gate with the double dip is because, if I lose in overtime, I still want to be able to, walk away with a net zero. But I expect this to be a spot where the Ducks find a way to win in this game here. Too many variables, too many factors showing that it should be lower scoring. We've got, the Islanders off a win one, lose one type of situation. They're 1-2 in their last 3. And, they're getting shut out consistently. St. Louis, they got shut out. Detroit, they got shut out. And when they win, it's only by 1 goal. That speaks to those puck line trends that I was just talking about. Now, the other side of things, the Ducks kind of started off well at home, but they're on back-to-back losses on this road trip. And I think it's a rally spot. I think it's a rally and recover opportunity. I believe they've got the better goaltender in net right now, at least to start the season off early. As long as it's going to be Dostal, I'm going to feel pretty good about this Ducks opportunity here. I think there's plenty of spot for us to jump in. And, when you start looking at some of these money line situations, they're like 500. So 500 on either side, whether you're looking at the Ducks or the Islanders, with a marginal goaltending advantage one side or the other. Yeah, it's the same situation that we talked about the other night with some of these teams out there. You just have to find those goal advantage opportunities out there. And frankly, I don't like that we're not seeing a lot of goals being scored by the Ducks, but the Islanders aren't scoring a lot of goals. They're typically playing that trap style, old school hockey that the NHL's done their best to eliminate, and they're still finding a way to win games on a regular basis. So we're going to open her up. We're going to open her up with a little opportunity. Yeah, man, it's cold up here, dude. Actually, it's not so bad today, but shorts on the bottom. My guy smoked, but still a hoodie. Still rock the hoodie. Gangster, let's go. St. Louis Blues, Ottawa Senators, game number 2. And we go across the gamut on this one here. Again, we look at goaltending matchups, goaltending statistics that we have out there. We've got Joel Hofer, the St. Louis Blues number 1 guy, and he's playing like a potential Vezina Trophy guy. 3-0 on the season, 2.31. I know Binnington's their guy, but 2.31 goals against average, 93.2% save percentage, and a shutout. Then we've got, damn right, Leanis Allmark starting for this Ottawa Senators team. Punted out of Buffalo because he was a piece of shit. 1-2 on the season, 3.33 goals against average, 88.5% save percentage for this guy out there. And the Senators on a 2-game losing streak. They're going to go to Allmark for the second time in 3 games because they can't quite figure it out. Now, the challenge part with Allmark, he did have a muscle strain. So there was a little bit of an injury to this guy, and they're trying to work him back into play, which I always think is a challenge because, he comes back, 5 goals on 27 shots that first game, 6-4 loss to Vegas. The Senators are scoring. They got a 3.75 goals a game average, but they're struggling, I think, to keep that puck out of the net. The flip side of things, Hofer, undefeated on the season, 93.2% save percentage. Senators are scoring. They're going to need Hofer to stand on his head. 17 goals in the last 4 games for this Ottawa Senators team. The reason that they're hanging in there and staying in contention, I think the reason this line is priced the way it is simply comes down to the fact that they're scoring a lot of goals. And, we look at the St. Louis Blues team here. Bottom line it. Let me bottom line it for everybody that's out there here. St. Louis Blues, we got the next up trend. If you guys remember from last year, next up, if you're on the road after a road game and you're playing the Flyers next, you're 23-3 in those stats. 23-3 is that St. Louis Blues team. And that trend, 4-0 on this season as well. I'm going to jump with it. You know what? Last year we questioned some of the validity. This year we're going to accept the fact that that's the way it is. When you got the Flyers coming up on deck, you're excited because you know you're going to kick the shit out of them boys. You're going to get goals. You're going to get the great spot to get a cheesesteak on top of that. Lots of fun things happening when you're playing on the road against Philadelphia. And this is kind of smack in the middle for the St. Louis Blues team. So at a plus 154 and a 23-3 trend, hell yeah, we're going to take advantage of the St. Louis Blues team out there. Undefeated this season is that trend. I know the Flyers are on the road tonight against Boston. Big money coming in on the Flyers. Big money. I don't get it. I don't want to touch it. If I was going to touch that game, I would parlay that game. I would parlay the Bruins with the Kings. And I might slap in the Penguins. Because I'm not buying that Marc-Andre Fleury shit. But I'm not touching it. Not touching it. But I am touching this next game. Talk of this Rangers spot that's out there. Rangers 6-1-1. Capitals 5-2 on the season. Number 1 goaltender in the league. Can you argue it? I don't know. Maybe. It's Igor Shesterkin. 4-1-1, 2.59 goals against average. There's that 92.6% save percentage trend again. He's got a shutout. That 92% number is the key metric that we look for to certainly anoint them, not elite, but above average to superstar level goaltending. No question, Igor Shesterkin betting on himself this season. Looking at this one here, Capitals, challenge that I have with the Capitals. 3-0 shutout by Tampa Bay, their last out. We were on Tampa. That was the Tampa bounce back at home spot. But I don't like a team that's coming off a shutout because that always feels like they're due to score some goals. Now, are they just old? That's why they're finding that gap. I was surprised to see. We talk in the NHL or the NFL about teams that are potentially due for regression or positive regression, I guess, in that case, depending on how they've been performing. I think the Capitals, I said this the other day, I'm surprised that they're sitting at 5-2 on the season. I'm blown away by it. And Logan Thompson, they're running the 1-2 punch. Logan Thompson out there, 3-0, 3.26 goals against average with an 88.4% save percentage. Unbelievable. Unbelievable with this team and what they've been doing out there. But, look, bottom line for me, this is a Rangers spot. You can take this Rangers and crush them a bunch of different ways. The big spot that I looked at out there, the Rangers off a win, now a road favorite with 2 or more days rest, are 12-3. They're 10-5 against the spread. They're also 10-5 to the over. Now I have some contrary information on the over that led to a 15-1 spot to the under for the Rangers. So I didn't want to fuck around with that, but I saw the margin of victory being 1.5 on the head for this New York Rangers team. And I thought the best way to take advantage with the number 1 scoring offense in the NHL, going out there against a goalie that I believe has been playing beyond his capability due to regress as well, is to ride that trend and take the Rangers in regulation. Now, I mentioned the margin. The margin is 1.5. Rangers, road favorites with 2 or more days rest. They travel well. They got their shit figured out. And they roll out at 12-3. But that margin is 1.5. So when I want to drop the puck line in a spot like that, the puck line play does have a nice little benefit to it. It's a little plus 165. I get it. But I opted for the regulation. Why? Because if it is a 1-goal game, the Rangers have beaten the Capitals 5 times in a row. They haven't gone to overtime in one of them. So it does suggest that the Rangers should come out here with that number 1 offense and handle business. And whoops. And I believe that's exactly what they do. So I'm going to take the Rangers. I'm going to take them in regulation. Let's see what you guys have to say. JP says, what do you think about Rangers Bruins in a 2-legger? Smoke says, yeah, I did give it out to you. I'll tell you what, speaking of plus 650 winners, I did put a little sprinkle on a parlay between the Blues and the Ducks, and that is a plus 665 winner. So, for what it's worth, shooting forward recommendation from the chat. Go for it, boys. Give our guy Brandon the Great a nice recommendation out there. KD likes the Kings in regulation. I get down with that, Kelly. I don't believe in the shit. I see a bunch of people like the Sharks tonight. Look, they got their win. They got it. They're still a 10 losing team. Now, can they come back and figure it out? Maybe. But Steve says, did we talk about that sick comeback by the Sharks? Yeah, dude. It was awesome. Bunch of you guys got some big plus 600s out there, man. That's awesome to see. That's what makes it so much fun, isn't it? You pick up a little here. You pick up some from the chat. Everyone's working together to try to figure it out. Stirring Company likes Trevor Zegras, Troy Terry out there. There's some player props I like on that side of things for that Islanders game. Some shots on goal. Biggest shot on goal prop that I liked out there was, for anybody that's interested, Anders Lee. It's a little pricey at 2.5, but you buy that thing up to 3.5, you can catch a nice plus 125 price tag on that guy. Been averaging almost 5 shots a game. Oh, yeah. Little price tag play for that one for you guys so inclined. All right. Let's go. Joseph Alvarado. All right, let's go. Let's get on to this next game. Oops. A little laggy here. I'm surprised nobody told me I'm laggy. Maybe it's just on my side. All right, so I don't want to take the fun out of the reveal here, but the theme of the day for me is dogs. I think every one of these plays on the board tonight is a live dog spot, and it does not change with this Brooklyn Nets Denver Nuggets spot. Now, if you look at the Denver Nuggets, either they're dealing with championship celebration hangovers galore, and then I don't know. Now they're just in a spot where they just look checked out. They don't look very good. Last year wasn't so great to them, and then, struggling at home on all things. You've got elevation benefits, and they just can't figure it out. 7.5 was where this line opened up. It's taken some steam. 66% of the bets and 66% of the cash on the Nuggets. But the line's dropped 2.5 points down to a 5. And now some 4.5s out there, by the way. Total's getting steamed on the over. 95% of the bets, 95% of the cash. This line has not moved. Now, I mentioned the Joker triple-double spots when he's playing out there against the Nets. That is a real thing. That guy goes out there and fires. And it's priced somewhat accordingly. Triple-double at plus 275 for Joker. Interesting spot. Both these teams coming in 1 and 2. The Nets, just had a home game against the Bucks. And how about that? They were 8.5-point dogs. They won by 13 outright. No travel. Meanwhile, the Nuggets just played Toronto yesterday. So they are on the elusive back end of a back-to-back with travel spot out there. And that does not bode well for the boys. Couple of things out there. I guess the biggest one. When your opponent's on no rest and an overtime spot that they won, if you're in the dog spot and you were a dog the last game, 62-22. So that kind of combines a whole bunch of factors out there. unrested opponent that went deep into overtime and found a way to win. Didn't cover, by the way, but found a way to win. And that was the Raptors team of all places. Can you imagine? You were a dog the last game. You're a dog this game. 62-22. Now the average line is 5. Those teams are covering by 5. Well, if you're getting a 5, the average line is a 5, and you're covering by 5, does that mean you're a live dog? Yeah, it does. 42-44 straight up are those dogs in that spot. So when I mentioned to you that I thought that the dogs could bark tonight, I do believe in this game particularly, and all the games for that matter, excuse me, the dogs are very much alive with reverse line movement to support it. When we've got trends in our direction, we've got reverse line movement on top of it. The Nuggets, just look bad. They just look out of rhythm. It took everything they could to beat up on a Toronto team that stinks at home. Remember we talked about that? 0-12, then went to 0-13. The Raptors in a dog spot at home. And yet they found a way to cover against this Denver Nuggets team. How about this one? Pretty straightforward. Similar spot, but a little bit more aggressive. Conference, back-to-back, after overtime, 27-77. That means fade them Nuggets. It's 9-1 in its last 10 games. We're getting 5 points. I don't think we need them. But the Nets, with a nice +5 in our back pocket, 5.5's what I got earlier. Let me see if there's still 5.5 out there. Whoops. Let's see. 5 be the best number we can get. Let me make that update. Super helpful when I was going back to retrieve show information that I could see this Nets +5 live spot for us on the card here. What do you guys think? Second leg of the back-to-back. KB says Scotty Barnes rebounds over last night. Money in the bank. Big stuff. Scotty Barnes, he's out tonight, I believe, too, isn't he? Are they playing tonight? Or is it tomorrow that I saw the update for? I think it's tomorrow. I think I'm losing it a little bit here. Games, and more games. Okay. Let's go. Let's pick this pace up. We got more games to get to. We got some 7 o'clock games popping off here. Let's talk about this one real quick for you guys. The Dallas Mavericks, the Minnesota Timberwolves in a playoff Western Conference final rematch. Anybody? Line opened up at 4. It's moved to 5.5. So there's a little reverse line movement here because 75% of the bets and 75% of the cash are on the Mavericks. This total opened at 225. It's getting crushed on the over. 91% of the bets, 91% of the cash. It's dropping to the under. In fact, it's dropped 5 full points to the under in those spots. And both teams sitting at 2-1. Now, the one for the Mavericks, right? All right, I mean, they lost to the Suns. Now, the Mavericks are on the second leg of a back-to-back, but they might be the unicorn. They might be the unicorn in this position, and I'll tell you why. You look at this Mavericks team, specifically a couple of factors that jump out there. When they're on the road and they've got no rest, they found themselves 15-11 straight up. Crazy number out there. When the dog has less rest than their opponent, they're 6-6 against the spread in the NBA, which is a little astonishing. But when the total's at least 232 and the last game went under by 13 or more points, the Mavericks are a perfect 12-0. They're 10-0 against the spread when they're unrested on road games. Crazy. 15-11 straight up. 10-0 against the spread in an unrested spot. And it's a rematch opportunity. It's a revenge spot for these boys out there. I don't care if Minnesota's got the rest in this corner here. I know typically we want to try to be involved in those spots out there, but I'll take some Mavericks. I'll take them at 5. What do we got the best number that we can get out there with this one? There's 5.5 out there. -115. And the 5 is -108. I'm going to play the 5. I'm not afraid of getting hooked. I think the Mavericks are live dogs. Again, another live dog opportunity for us in the NBA. Let's roll on. Kings and Jazz. We'll talk about this next Kings game here. Kings and Jazz. Line opened up at -4.5. It's now 6.5. We have 61% of the bets and 64% of the cash sitting on them Kings. It's moved 2 points in their direction. So there is correlated movement if you're a Kings backer. And why wouldn't you be? They're playing an 0-3 Utah Jazz team, right? 235.5 is the total. It opened with 59% of the bets, but 57% of the cash on the over. And it's not moving. Another situation where the line isn't moving. And I neglected to discuss some of the injuries in those other games. I'm not a big injury guy when it comes to any of the sports. In fact, when the guys are out, I like to play on that team, which we've talked about time and again. Johnny Juzang, Taylor Hendricks, and Isaiah Collier will be out for the Utah Jazz. Devin Carter will be out for the Sacramento Kings. Lots of stuff going on here. But I think at the end of the day, the Utah Jazz do have that home advantage environment. They play at altitude. There's that factor that goes into it. And I think this Utah city, this whole sports complex, this whole state ultimately is going to be fired up. They've got hockey in there now. It's going to be a ruckus place to play. I think the wrong team's favored. Home dogs off a loss are 8-3 against the spread. Home dog off a loss. Think about that. They can't figure out what the right number should be because the home team's supposed to be like a 2-point advantage for being home. And because they come off a loss, you're buying low in those spots. When both teams are unrested, total greater than the opponent's total last game and greater than your total last game and your home are 92-70 straight up. 92-70. When you got a greater total than you guys each scored your last games, neither team has rest. The home team prevails. Home cooking is true. 92-70 for that Utah Jazz. On the money line, I'm going to take the 7 in my back pocket. See what the best number is that we can get now. 6.5. So just to be fair, just to line shop it for you guys and get you the best number that I can for record keeping purposes. 6.5 will play for us out there. 92-70. Total's greater than what both teams scored the previous game. The home team, when there's an unrest situation, is 92-70. The home dogs off a loss, 8-3. We're going to go against the line movement in this spot here. I know it's been moving in that Sacramento Kings direction, but frankly, I think that Sacramento Kings game meant more to them yesterday, beating up on Portland and the manner in which they did it. Nice little backdoor cover. Didn't leave a lot out there on the table. I'm typically going to cover on that one. The Utah Jazz, on the other hand, look, they were getting 12 at Dallas. They covered. We just talked about that Dallas team. They got busted up by the Golden State Warriors. That was a difficult, ugly spot. But, hey, we caught that win with the Utah Jazz. 126-124. We had the backdoor cover with Memphis and the over in that spot. So let's keep her going. That's going to be the way we're getting after it. 3 big dogs coming at you. Big dogs want to eat. Dogs across almost the entire card, except for that Ranger spot here tonight. Sometimes it just works out that way. It's not like I deliberately went and sought out dogs, but man, when you start finding some of these trends and you think that they can win outright, who cares about the points in the movement out there? Let's get our opportunities. Let's get the best number we can, and let's parlay all these fucking dogs together. That might pay out 155 to 1 or something like that. Maybe it's even more than that. I'm just saying I might have done that. College football, we've got 2 games on deck, 2 of 3 games that we'll talk about here, just to keep it moving for you guys. New Mexico State taking tons of action right now. They open up at 10.5. They're down to 7.5s. 7s are starting to show themselves out there with 88% of the bets and 92% of the cash on New Mexico State. Total's dropping like a rock. 47.5 down to 43.5. 85% of the bets and 71% of the cash are on the over. And yet it is reversed to the nth degree. I don't know if it's actually the nth degree or not, but let's keep in mind with the theme, right? Dogs are alive. I'm not joking in this game. I think this dog is absolutely alive. Overall, when you look at the way these 2 teams play, I think the reason this line's coming down now is New Mexico State, dual threat quarterback. I don't know. I think it's more of a reaction to what FIU did last week. FIU goes out last week against Sam Houston. The score's 10-7. FIU's struggling to score. And what's important about that 10-7 spot is Sam Houston was without its top quarterback. So they went out there. Essentially, they rolled a dud. Ultimately, FIU's run defense, one of the worst in college football. And if the Aggies keep the game on the ground, we're going to see tick, tick, tick. We're going to see a spot where maybe they can sneak in that backdoor cover and win the game outright. If not backdoor cover, outright W. FIU struggles on third down conversions. Their quarterback stinks. Their defense terrible, especially against the rush. This game should absolutely be on the ground. And, when you think about it, at the end of the day, there's a little bit of quarterback controversy out there in New Mexico State. Parker, I can't say his last name. We'll call him Awad. Parker Awad, kind of gets taken out of the end of that game. And Brandon Nunez goes out there, 3 of 5. But here's why I think this is a big factor for this New Mexico State team. Only 3 of 5 passing from the third quarter on. Why? Because they ran the shit out of the ball. And he rushed for 2 touchdowns. And you're going against one of the worst run defenses out there in college football. Now, Florida International, they're not good in the favorite role. If they're a favorite of less than 35 points, so essentially, you're backing out like FCS schools, right? Because when they play maybe an FCS school, they should be a 42 or a 43-point favorite, maybe. I don't know if you could be that with this offense. But they're 0-11. And we're seeing this number catch steam. As a favorite of less than 10 points, they've lost all 6 games outright in the last 6 spots out there. Live dog. Live dog. Theme of the card. Every card seems to have a theme. The other day, our theme was bounce back spots. Today, our theme seems to be dog situations out there. Dropping to 7s, I see out there in the chat. Absolutely, Chris Sella. It's dropping. Get that 7.5 if you can. FanDuel still has a 7.5, but the 7s are starting to show themselves pretty much across the market. And I don't think that matters. I mean, I know it's 2 points or 2.5 points, but to me at a 7, I think it's a live dog. I think the spot with New Mexico State can go out there, just tick, 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 tick this clock away. And FIU can't do shit about it. Playing up against a quarterback that wasn't expected to go in out there in Sam Houston, the Bearcats, they still beat them 10-7. They got 7 points that whole game. Problematic. New Mexico State, big outright win against that La Tech team because La Tech is dog shit. But they were a plus 367. They snuck that game with a 12.5. Why can't they go out there in this FIU team and take a big whack out of these guys here? The money line for conversation purposes, plus 230. Smoke, Razor's on vacation. I'll say it all I want. He's not here. Oh, maybe he is, but he's on vacation. You're not going to find me. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Let's talk about this La Tech Sam Houston spot. Let's just keep this thing grinding and growing here. Let's go. What do we got? La Tech opens up. By the way, Texas State, ULL. Best I could give you is a lean in that game, and I lean to Texas State. I'm not a ULL fan. I'm not a Raging Cajuns fan. Probably see some scores, even though the number's coming down at this point from 62.5 to 60.5. But La Tech and Sam Houston, the aforementioned shit team, La Tech, found themselves 2-2 in the conference. They kind of fell on some hard times. This number has climbed a little bit, but it's starting to come back. So this thing got as high as 10.5. Now we're seeing buyback down to 10s and even 9.5s. So you can get 10s predominantly across the board at around minus 110. 57% of the bets and 69% of the cash are on Sam Houston. And the Bearcats are starting to be faded at that 10.5 number. It's because 10's a key number, right? 3, 7s, 10s. Once you start moving past those keys, you want to start thinking about going the other way. And this total's dropping. This is a pros versus Joe situation. We have 74% of the bets on the over. But we have 59% of the cash on the under. So despite everybody loving this thing going over, Sam Houston should put up a boatload. Their quarterback's back. Remember I talked about their quarterback being out last game? He's back. But yet bigger money likes this under. And the bigger money prevails in the concern of the books in Vegas. They have dropped this thing down a little bit. And that should be a cause for concern, especially if you're thinking points in this game. The challenge I had with points is I don't know. I don't want to overreact to this last game that we saw with Sam Houston in that FIU 10-7, but look, Sam Houston, as dynamite, as prolific as their offense has been, now that we're getting into the meat of the schedule, the meat of the conference, they're starting to spitter and sputter. They've got just 24 points in their last 2 games, 3 touchdowns in 2 full games for being such a prolific, explosive offense. Where the hell has it gone? La Tech. Now, look, La Tech barely beat UTEP. UTEP's a bad team. Right? We talked about the Miners being probably the worst in the conference, but I went a little different in this one. I took a teaser, took a little show play teaser here. I teased up La Tech, and I teased it to the under, mostly because I think these 2 teams are going to want to keep the ball on the ground. The thing about they run fast-paced games, right? Both these teams do run a pretty high-octane offense when you start thinking about it, but you got a quarterback coming back in Sam Houston. You don't want this guy to get hurt. He's got to be ready to go down the run. Let's not forget, Sam Houston was dog shit last year. What did I say? 1 win last year on top of that? So talk about teams that should be starting to come back to the means. They started off spectacular. But that up-tempo, definitely something that does concern me just a little bit. However, Sam Houston's secondary is so electric that even if La Tech does try to go out there and throw the ball a few times and keep that high-paced game, they're going to find stymie central. They're not going to find a way to drive this thing down the field. And I think that's going to be the difference in this game here. I think probably when you look at it, La Tech's got the quarterback change as well. Evan Bullock found a way. 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. But I think that I want the points in the back pocket. I don't want to tease this Sam Houston team down in case the theme of the dog comes out and La Tech does find a way to win. It is the star player coming back theory for Sam Houston as well. I just wanted to get these points in my back pocket. So I teased it. Let's see what we can get here. The teaser that I got. What are we having? What are we looking at? Let's see what we can get. Let's put our heads and asses together here. 16.5. That'll be 51.5. So it has come down a full point. And that's just following the correlated movement with the market. High octane teams, but we're going to see a lot of 3 and outs. We're not going to see a lot of deep explosive drives, especially from that La Tech side of things. And I do think that because of their quarterback's potential efficient. Well, here's what I think is going to happen. That offensive line for La Tech, that's going to break down in the second half. He's going to be running for his life and throwing a bunch of balls, which is going to lead to incomplete passes, turnover on downs. And the question is Sam Houston going to be able to go out there and run and gun? And we're seeing that in conference play, they're starting to fall a little flat. The tape is out. And I think that tape's out in our favor. We're going to take this teaser action out there. Now, 16.5. So there's no shot that we're going to push. But Jerry Davis thinks Sam Houston is trying to protect Bauer. I agree. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Cameron Sinet says La Tech is terrible. They are, but you can't dismiss the fact that you haven't seen shit for points out of Sam Houston the last 2. Coin likes the under 45.5. I get down with that. I thought about just taking the under, but I wanted to tease it up to that extra score for me, just in the event that I can make that happen. So let's go. Last game on the docket, World Series. Well, we got 1-1-1 yesterday in the World Series. I'll tell you, frustrating. The other day I told you guys how frustrated I was. Talk about these games, kind of predict some of the right sides, and then end up with pushes or middling spots. But wait till you see the numbers. The middling spots very much keep us alive for when we go out there and firebomb. And that's what I'm expecting that we do here tonight. Did all these sneak in another 5 gifted memberships? He did. This is KV's favorite part of the show. When I jump in there and I read off who got them gifted memberships, let's see. Let's see who got them gifted memberships out there. Man, shout out to you, Oldie. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here, rocking with us on the reg. Having cocktails on the reg. Therapy is gifted an Old E membership. Elliot Jameson gifted an Old E membership. There's Deer Slayer Ski gifted an Old E membership. Von Polo Caps, salty as he is, he got gifted a membership. And same thing to K Wolf, gifted a membership by Old E. Rockstar, man. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you very much. Helping to close this month out. Monstrous, you guys. Talk about closing them out. Talk about closing them out. Where are we at? Here's where I'm at. Let's get the splits. Let's get the splits. The split dollars here. 58% of the bets, but only 49% of the cash on the Yankees. Consensus is they're done. I was happy to cash that first 500, especially after I saw 2-0 in the first inning. I was like, fuck, taking this one on the chin. And the 8.5 now has 54% of the bets and 56% of the cash. And it's not really moving. We got Keel going on the Yankee side of things, sporting a 4.5 ERA in the postseason. And we got a bullpen day for the Dodgers. Scheduled, anticipated bullpen day. Are they just giving it away? This one? Saying we'll get them next? I don't know. You know, first funny thing I read today, this is the first time, two things happened for the first time. Yesterday was the first time that any metropolitan city has lost 4 major league sports in the same day. So that was New York. The Knicks, let me see if I can remember. The Knicks, there was an MLS team. I think it was the Red Bulls, the Yankees, and the Islanders. I don't remember who the other one was. Anyways, I thought that was fascinating. Also, how about this? The first time in Major League Sports history that all 3 national major championships have opened up to sweeps, potential sweeps. The NHL, the NBA, and the NFL. Well, the NFL really doesn't fall under that criteria. But there you go. And now here we are facing a sweep. I'm sure I butchered those numbers. I was just kind of thinking of them off the cuff. But look, we can talk about the numbers. Teams that are favored in Game 4, even though they're down 3-0 in the series, are 1-5 historically in Major League Baseball playoffs. Do I think they come out here and win this game? I don't know. The tinfoil hat in me says no, they're not going to let the Dodgers win this game because, well, they want to have these media markets capitalizing on America's sport. Not my sport, but somehow it's America's sport. And that being said, I wouldn't mind seeing it extend a little bit more, but I don't know, man. I think their goose is cooked, these Yankees. You guys asked me pre-series who I thought was going to win. I thought it was the Dodgers. And here we are. You know, we're down to this last game, potentially, of the series. But I went to the over. The bullpen factor for the Dodgers. I don't like that Aaron Judge is hitting sub 0.1 batting average here in the postseason. I don't like that whatsoever. And I don't like that they're going to this Teal guy. I just don't like the coaching decisions that they've made on either side of things here. The GMs are out of their element, but the Yankees have gone over in 4 of 7 postseason games. The Dodgers have gone over in 5 of 7 postseason games. And I think we saw an overreaction. Last night was the under. It was the under. Well, every game's gone over. Let's just play the over. That's when you start tagging unders. But now I think this is a spot where everyone's going, wait a minute. No, I think he put it all out there. You know, they're not, maybe they, I don't know. I don't know if they're walking runs if the bases are loaded, but you're going to pitch to the guy. You're going to give him an opportunity to whack that grand slam out of there. And I think Edman's a live guy again as well. You know, if I was looking across the pike with potential, you know, RBI plays on this one, I'd go back to Edman. Why the fuck not? I mean, Freddie Freeman. Yeah. I texted my boy last night after Freeman hit that right off the gate. And I was like, your boy's doing it again. And then he put his phone on silence. He didn't want to hear it anymore. But yeah, I think Edman's a guy. You know, NLCS MVP. He's battling out there and he's in the bottom hole going to get himself at least 4 times through the lineup. Lefty-righty matchup. Yeah, I mean, his numbers don't shine, but that's why you're getting the price at over plus 200 for this guy. And, his numbers just improve across the board. Doesn't have experience against heel, but he's good against righties. He's better on the road than he is against righties. I think it's good enough for a little Edmund spot. I'm not going to jump in there. Just a spot that I was looking at if you guys were looking for a little ribeye action, but I wouldn't certainly go chasing after Mookie Betts or Freeman at this point. I would chase the price tag for a guy that's kind of one of those exemptions here, right? These big time players situation. Well, shit, the World Series, Edmund already killed it in the NLCS. Why not see this guy come back and battle, especially with Ohtani being a little dinged up now? But I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the over 8.5. I'm going to see points in this game, see runs in this game. Chris Ellis says Judge and Soto rake tonight. See, that's why I want to take the over. That's why I want to take the over. Yeah, it is 4 major sports, Coin. It's not, it's a sports equinox, right? But it's not, it's 4 major sports. And I don't think college football counts against it. I don't know. I don't care. I know we got football in our lives here, you guys. And I'm excited for it. So shout out to you guys, man. I know I went quick to get through these things to get you guys the must-know information that, or at least trends and things to help you guys consider how it is you're going to go attack the books tonight. We're going to be back. Listen, we got a bunch of things happening this week. Bunch of things. We're going to shoot First Strike tomorrow. We're working on a little something special Friday for you guys. So stay tuned. Get ready to go. And, of course, Saturday, the UFC extraordinaire. The card's been pushed back to 5:15 Eastern. So we'll probably start around 4:30 p.m. Saturday to get in all that early grind on the prelims. I know you guys like that. We like to go through it too, get our notes kind of coordinated out there. But I appreciate all you guys hanging out, man. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for the gifted memberships, the donations. Old E gifted us 10 Sports Money memberships. Dave Beckett comes through with a 5-pack of Sports Money memberships. Cameron Sinnett, $20 on the dono, $2,999 gifted donations out there. Redbeard pops off with a $4 dono. Trisha M, $4.99 dono, follows it up with a $1.99 dono. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. That's the stuff that keeps the engine running, gets me inspired to come back here and grind it out for you guys, because it is a grind. Every day's a grind, but we're going to get back to it. Tonight, we're going to go out there, going to try to grind this card out, come up with some big W's, get ready for a big show tomorrow. And then, look, Wednesday's the bridge to the weekend. Thursday's right there. Then we got Friday, and we're already back in it. So I know it's Tuesday, but that's how quickly time goes. And again, I appreciate all you guys hanging out with us, man. Shout out to Jay Peasy. He dropped some new bars. Going to get those incorporated out there. NJ Stryker, Nasty Nate, Chris Sella, KV, my guy Coin rocking with us, Jerry Davis. Thank you guys, Trisha and Peter Gracia, Nasty Nate, Stop Geo Engineering, Vegas Knights money line. Any lined at -110 tomorrow versus the LA Kings on a back-to-back is fishy. Shout out to Trans Canada. Shout out to them Flyers, Trans Canada. Are you fading them tonight, my dude? Let's go. Appreciate you guys, man. We're going to have ourselves a night tonight. Nathan Cerna, Rockstars, man. We got Smoke and Mirrors in here. Old E, you guys are great. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging out with us. Please hit that thumbs up on the way out the door. Steve Fehrenbach, smash that thumbs up for us, my dude. Brian Smith, all you guys, man. Appreciate you. Nunya coming through with us here tonight. Let's get that cash, man. We'll be back here tomorrow doing our thing. You guys see my guy, Ramon Scott, 9 a.m. with the morning steam, giving you the first look. Then we wrap her up here at Pregaming with the last look, all to help you guys cook the books. On behalf of the Sports Money Network, get that cash tonight.